What's up, you elite human specimens? I hope you're ready to rock and roll for 2024 because this year is going to be a wild ride. And on that note, I wanted to take you into a deeper discussion around the core topic and theme of manifestation today, and more specifically, the 8 core reasons that could be blocking you, holding you back, or preventing you from currently manifesting that in which you desire. And the reason why I wanted to kick the year off with this core theme of manifestation is because at the end of the day, whether you are inclined and interested in the core topic of manifestation or not, manifestation is simply the art of creation, being able to create your desired reality in any given moment, okay? Because we are always creating a reality. And on one hand, we could either be creating the reality in which we desire, based on what we're currently emanating and vibrating out into the world, or we could be creating the reality in which we do not desire. But regardless, at all times, in every moment, we're creating, okay? So getting our head wrapped around the deep nuances of manifestation is so critical, because when I look out into the spiritual community, I have nothing against the spiritual community whatsoever in any form. However, I do see a lot of leaders or gurus in this space talking about and promoting the one tactic, tip, trick, method that you can implement today to manifest anything that you desire instantly, okay? And when I see this type of messaging, it puts the alarm bells on me, and I feel called to share the deeper nuances of this core topic because, put simply, there is no one tip, trick, or tactic that you can actually implement to manifest anything you desire. And if you are questioning that, or wanting to question the gurus that are teaching this, well, I would ask them to simply manifest a loaf of bread on their hand instantaneously. It's probably not going to happen. Is that possible? Absolutely. For example, someone like Jesus, who is an ascended master in human form, was able to master his ability to create and manifest anything within this physical realm. So that is possible on the path of a very high level of mastery, where we would essentially ascend and elevate in our level of consciousness while here in this incarnation to be able to pull those feats off. So the way I personally view it is that, hey, manifestation is not something that should be seen as this quick thing that you can implement to master overnight, right? This needs to be seen like anything else, a progressive journey of deep inner spiritual growth to get ourselves to a level of consciousness and to a level of mastery in human form in which we can become greater manifestors and creators, because we're all residing on a spectrum, and the spectrum looks like this. So for example, say that you've got an ascended mastery level in human form right up here, okay? And then you've got someone that is residing in a very dense, low frequency energy down here. Well, the person's ability to manifest from this level of consciousness, this vibratory frequency, is going to be very, very minimal, because there's no light within this human. I mean, there is light within the human being, but they're residing at a very low level of consciousness in which there isn't much creative power flowing through them. They're more dense, okay? But up here, as we evolve as souls on this eternal journey, and taking a temporary pit stop here as human beings, we have to remember that we're multidimensional in nature, and that we are always progressing and evolving as souls into higher states of consciousness. And we all chose to come here and play this game here on Earth. And when you incarnated, you knew that it was going to be a pretty dense game to be able to play within and master, but you chose to come here first and foremost to evolve and learn as a soul on your evolutionary journey, to learn specific lessons that you needed to, so you could progress in this game, and then add those lessons and experiences into the memory bank of your soul so you can continue to evolve and elevate in your own level of consciousness. And then secondly, you most likely chose to come here as well to play a part of this collective game that we're all in, so you could contribute and serve the collective in this mass movement that is undertaking right now, where we're all going through this tremendous and big shift that is so unique, and it's such a fantastic time to be alive, where we're going through this collective ascension process together, where we're currently going through and transitioning from the third dimensional realm of reality And we're going in, transitioning through the fourth dimension into the fifth, which is a heightened state of collective consciousness. So it's really fantastic that you're here. I'm excited to be on the journey with you, but we've got to understand the nuanced game, the holistic approach towards manifesting, because when you start to increase your ability to create and manifest, it gives you an enhanced ability to achieve the levels of freedom that you desire. It enhances your level of creativity in the solutions that you can create out in the world to be of service to yourself, to, liberate yourself first and foremost, and then to liberate and serve your fellow comrades that are also on this journey. So that's how I view the game. Manifestation, your ability to manifest is deeply intertwined with your own soul's evolutionary journey as you start to master this human game here on Earth. So let's get into the 8 roadblocks or core problems that you may be running into. And as you're watching this video, I don't want you to be thinking that, hey, shit, I feel so overwhelmed and overburdened by what Rhett just told me with all of these problems that I'm facing in my life and how that's preventing my manifestations. No, don't take it that way. It's more so, hey, you might only be feeling blocked in a couple of these areas, right? So when I go through the core problem, which I'm going to go through in sequence, and I've got them written down because I do want to go through them sequentially, I'm going to then back it up and provide a solution that you can start to look at implementing in your everyday life that can help you overcome and resolve that specific problem that you may be facing. Now, in regards to understanding how to implement the solutions that I'm about to go over and talk you through in depth, well, the best way to do it without getting overwhelmed is, instead of trying to change everything at once and implement all these strategies at once, no, I would encourage you to follow your natural inner calling, your intuitive nudges, the excitement that's coming up within you, and your natural curiosity to resolve maybe 1 to 3 things at a time, okay? And follow your curiosity with what feels most aligned for you at this point in time, because that's going to be the highest leverage thing that you can start to look at and improve in your life. And that's going to then start to unlock the locks to get to the next level. And then you can circle it back around to the other solutions at some point in the future when they are maybe more resonant to you at a different time. And that's the best way to approach it. So let's kick it off with number 1. The first roadblock that you are currently or could be facing in your life that's preventing you from manifesting that in which you desire is you're not in alignment. Here's what I mean. So when you chose to come in and play this game as a human being that is actually multidimensional and eternal in nature, your higher self was planning out your incarnation and choosing the experiences that you wanted to experience to assist you in gaining insight and learning the lessons required for you to evolve, okay? So your higher self essentially is the driving force behind most of your life, really. It is the higher conscious being that is directing a lot of your earthly experiences, the synchronicities that happen to you in your life, and you are being guided to experience the certain things that you currently are so you can learn, so you can evolve, so you can elevate and grow as the guiding principle. So here's how this all comes into play. So just picture your higher self as like your body, okay? And then picture your subconscious mind as maybe your arm, and then your conscious mind as the hand. So if your higher self is trying to guide you over here and navigate you in this direction so you can learn what you need to resolve the traumas, the pains that you need to, so you can then become in alignment or enhance your consciousness so you can then further align with your higher self to co-create with your higher self in the future. If your higher self is moving in this direction and your subconscious mind is moving in this direction and your conscious mind is trying to fight and get in the way of what you truly desire and your highest timeline and highest path, well, you're going to be moving around like a lifeless crab that doesn't know where the hell it's going. You're just going to be confused and disorientated in your path, and you're going to constantly be running into friction. So here's the best way to view this, is that you can not manifest what you desire if your higher self, your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, and your energetic patterns and emotional body within you is out of alignment. You've got to line up and make sure that the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the higher self are all working in unison and in deeper coordination with one another. Otherwise, there's no matter what your conscious mind does, no matter what these goals are from the conscious mind, if they don't line up with the higher self, with the body, like, it's getting left behind. And you're just going to have to continue to follow along with your higher self, and you can choose to either align with your higher self in a more divine way that encourages flow, acceptance, surrendering, letting go, and getting in communion with that higher self so you can be guided on your path, or you can kick and scream and fight at every step and turn and try to resist the change that your higher self is nudging you towards. So the strategy that you can deploy to allow yourself to come in greater union and connection with your higher self is the simple art of meditating. So meditating, getting into deeper states of consciousness in which you can quieten out all of the noise within your environment. You can let go of all of the distractions, the addictions that you have, the busyness and noise of everyday life. So you can start to align yourself with the signal that is coming through from your higher self. And your higher self's messages will come through in like these deeper intuitive nudges. You'll get these feelings and insights that will come to you in those deeper meditative states. And as they come to you, you can then start to take action on the guidance that you receive. And that's how you start working within union and co-creating with your higher self. And as you start to do that, you're not going to necessarily know and be able to foresee the entire roadmap in front of you, because that's not really how your higher self works. Your higher self and spirit team and guides, they'll be communicating through you and to you and encouraging you to take action on the first step necessary to actualize and energize that pathway for yourself. And it's quite funny how it comes to be and how it does work, because they only typically, and your higher self only really reveals like one step at a time. So you have to be willing to take action on the insights that you get and just take that initial step and trust that the next step will reveal itself to you once you take that first and initial step. It's a really funny game, and it requires deep levels of trust, conviction, and even faith in yourself and the guidance that you are receiving. So as you start to operate in this way, you allow the divine synchronicities that your higher self can orchestrate to start to fall into place. And now you're going to be swimming with the current of the universe instead of against it. So that's number one. Now, number two is you're not living with intentionality, okay? So the core concept to grasp with intention is that without understanding who you are, why you're here, and what your unique purpose is, it's very hard to live with any intention. Because if you don't understand who you are, why you're here, and what your unique purpose is, you're not going to have any understanding or clarity around the goals that you want to set for yourself in your life. So the first step around intentionality and the power of it comes in understanding and getting a deeper understanding of who you are, why you're here, what your unique purpose is, because then you can start to reverse engineer and start to plan out more shorter term goals for yourself, right? And then what you can do is start to gain clarity in terms of understanding the goal equation, which is essentially three pieces. It's understanding, where are you now? What is the truth of your current reality that is rooted in facts? Because if you can do that, you establish a really solid foundation in which you can work from. Because if you don't understand where you currently are, if you're living in an illusion and walking around out of alignment to the truth of who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, and how this earthly game works, without any understanding or context of universal law, it's going to be very difficult to actually create a strong foundational base. So in the grand scheme of things, if you're then trying to set goals and accomplish certain feats and design or gain access mentally to what your roadmap looks like for your progression and how you can actually accomplish your goal, you're not going to be able to do it. Because in order for that equation of the roadmap to make itself apparent to you, you need a clear starting point. It's the same as if you were to go and try and travel somewhere and you plug in a destination to Google Maps. The foundational piece of information that Google Maps needs in order for the algorithm to work effectively, to provide you with the right roadmap that is going to be the most efficient in taking you from point A to point B, is your starting point. It needs a clearly defined coordinate. It needs clearly defined coordinates of your starting point to then understand how to get you from point A to point B. So if you don't know where you are, if you're living in illusion, it's going to be very hard to know exactly what's required of you to get from here to there. The next piece is understanding and being clear around what your actual goal is, right? I'm fascinated by people who are trying to improve their life, but they don't have any clearly defined directions or clearly defined goals that they ultimately want to accomplish in their life. So the key here is to let go of all false programs and false goals that are not yours, that may be influenced onto you or projected onto you from other people's desires. So the key piece in getting clarity of your goals is understanding your true goals, your true desires that are in alignment with your highest timeline, okay? That are deeply resonant and in alignment with you, instead of going and setting specific goals that are not really actually aligned with you. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with going and setting goals that aren't aligned with you and trying to accomplish them, because, you know, even if you do accomplish those goals, you'll soon realize that, oh shit, this isn't really in alignment for me. Like, there's no substance, there's no deep essence within it that fires me up and makes me come alive. You know, it was just, maybe I was setting that goal to get greater validation from somebody, or greater acceptance, or maybe it was a goal that was driven by the ego, for example. So there's nothing right or wrong about going and pursuing the goals that are not in alignment with you, because in doing so, you eventually reclaim your true essence, and you eventually become, or you eventually like move into greater alignment with your deeper true self, and then you can start to play the real game of life, which is setting and obtaining goals that are in alignment with your ultimate guiding life's purpose, your earthly mission, and your big long-term vision for yourself that is uniquely designed for you. Okay, so that's the first two pieces of the goal setting equation, and we're circling this back around into intentionality in just one moment. So you've got your current situation, your goal. Once you understand those two variables, you can then start to map out the roadmap for how to get there. Here's the key piece, how this wraps in with the power of intentionality. The roadmap is going to require you to vibrate a certain energetic blueprint, in addition to taking specific actions that is going to progress you along your path of accomplishing your long-term goal, okay? So if you are just taking action along this roadmap without any intention, without any conscious energy that is charging and infusing itself into the action, it's not really going to be effective at all, because there's no energetic charge. You have to energize your actions with conscious intent. And that's where you can start to tap into the power of exponential results in your life, because you are now tapping into the laws of the universe and the quantum realm to allow the energetic blueprints to infuse themselves into your physical actions, which can then attract in and create your desired outcome much more, or in a much more accelerated rate. Because the key with anything in life is it's all around intentionality. You know, like, your intent behind something dramatically changes the results that you see within your life. So taking action without intent is really a lifeless action. Yes, you're taking action physically, but you're not charging it with any power. Whereas if you take action with clear intent in every now moment of your day, oh my God, the difference that you will start to experience in your reality is night and day. And that's why living with intent is so key. But as I already explained, to preface intention, it's so key to start understanding who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, and then map out clear goals for yourself. What do you really want to accomplish? What do you want to do? What do you want to create? Who do you want to serve? Get clarity. How do you want to live? What level of freedom would you like to have for yourself in your life? What type of people do you want to surround yourself with? Like, understanding and clarifying all these things, including who do you want to become? What is your ultimate identity? How do you want to feel? What do you want to be energized by? What do you want to spend most of your time doing? These variables will drastically create an immense influence on the actions that you take, okay? So this is about gaining clarity, because once you gain clarity, you can then charge everything you do with intent. All right, so that's number 2. The actions are gaining clarity on everything I just spoke about. Who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is, and the goals that you're actually trying to accomplish, because then you get clear and you set your intention behind everything that you do. Everything that you own, everything that you think, everything that you feel has intention behind it, and radically charges your life and propels you forward in the direction of the goals that you want to obtain for yourself. So that's number 2. Number 3 is your energetic vibration is not in resonance with your goal. Because here's the deal. The laws of the universe come down to this. Everything is energy, frequency, and vibration. You've probably heard me talk about this many times, okay? This classic quote comes from Nikola Tesla. And it really is the key to understanding how the universe works. Because once you start to understand that, oh shit, everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, well, if you start to realize that this is the goal that you want to obtain out here, and if you come to realize that your energetic vibration is really low and really far removed from what you want to create for yourself, if you're trying to create or attract and manifest like $1 million into your bank account, or to earn that level of income, well, if you're down here vibrating deep levels of fear, guilt, shame, judgment, if you're holding on to extreme levels of dense energy, how on earth do you actually believe that you're going to attract in and become $1 million person? You know, and I'm not saying that, hey, everyone that makes $1 million is fantastic, or everyone that earns $1 million is an incredible person vibrating at a high frequency, because that's just not true, okay? But the way that you set yourself up for the greatest opportunity for succeeding is by vibrating as high as you possibly can, okay? Enhancing your consciousness, working on your vibration, so you can then purify your intention and allow things to come to you as long as they are destined to come to you, and as long as that's within alignment to your highest path. Because circling back to number 1 about alignment with your higher self, your subconscious mind, your conscious mind, I do want to say that, hey, for example, your higher self may be wanting to put you in a certain situation where you have no money, as an example, okay? And because a reason behind that might be that, hey, one of your contracts or one of your key lessons in this lifetime is to learn what it's like to live in poverty or be broke, so you can learn what it's like to be limited in that fashion, so you can heal those energies, so you can do the internal work to dissolve those energetic blueprints, dissolve those lack and limiting and scarcity codes that are within you, so you can train yourself to become more abundant. And that might enable you to have more compassion or empathy or understanding for how most of humanity lives. And then through your own journey of dissolving and overcoming those problems that you're currently facing, that might be in your journey that is going to enable you to serve others at a much higher capacity at some point in the future. This is just a small example. And I will say that most, if you resonate with the term that, like, hey, you are a light worker, you are a starseed here for a divine mission on earth, it's likely that you've probably experienced some form of this in your life. A lot do, and that's because we are being guided to go within at a much deeper level. Because if you had all the money and if things just worked out for you much easier and much faster, and you had all this money, you'd probably get distracted quite quickly, right? You'd probably go start spending it on stupid shit. Maybe you wouldn't, I don't know. But you know, people with a lot of wealth that come into a lot of wealth very quickly, you know, it can really defer them from their path, that it can actually delay their own soul's evolutionary journey. So just trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Don't compare to anyone else. But if you want to create and attract what you desire, the key is to understand where you are and to heal the energies of where you are right now so you can raise your vibration and then move in alignment with your higher self. The way to do it is to raise your vibration. So basically summarizing number 3 of raising your vibration, you can follow the tactics and the methods and the step-by-step processes that I lay out for you in another video that I've created called Raising Your Energetic, or How to Raise Your Energetic Vibration. I'll drop it in the description below. It's a fantastic video that you can watch and go through for a deep, detailed understanding of the integration between consciousness and energy and why it's so critically important for you to be focused on in your life and should hold really the greatest priority for you in how you are showing up and what you're putting your conscious attention towards in this realm. And I will quickly summarize a lot of the key things that I outlined there, but if you want to understand how to do it, well then go to that video after you watch this so you can learn the ins and the outs of how to raise your vibration. So a quick summary of how to do it is, number 1, high quality nutrition, eating non-processed whole foods, okay? Hydration, getting an abundance of really clean, purified water into your system, okay? The next one is getting an abundance of sunlight into your eyes and onto your skin. Grounding, getting connected with your bare feet on Mother Earth, okay? In the sand, in the grass, in the water, in the dirt, around trees, around nature. This is going to enable you to match your energetic frequency or balance out your energetic frequency with Mother Earth. Meditation is another one, breath work, conducting deep healing work, releasing any limiting beliefs, doing a lot of like subconscious reprogramming work, studying high conscious teachings, like for example, even what you're receiving from me now or like learning at this point in time. Surrounding yourself with more of this type of information is fantastic. And then exercise, moving your body, like being able to become one with or merge your mind and your body through movement, okay? And eliminating toxins and things like that. Okay, so moving on to number 4. The fourth one is that you currently have suppressed emotions or unhealed pain within you. And I'm gonna mention a quote to you that was really profound for me in understanding the connection between healing and being able to ultimately attract what you desire in your life. So it says this: you can only manifest what you desire if you are pure or empty, unburdened by illusions or old pain or trauma. I'm going to say this one more time. You can only manifest what you desire if you are pure or empty, unburdened by illusions or old pain and trauma. So here's the deal. One of the things that is holding you back energetically and lowering your vibration is unhealed pain and unhealed trauma or illusions. They essentially act as anchors that are strapped around your ankles, pulling you down and weighing you down every single moment of every single day. Because pain causes density within the body, okay? And emotions are energy in motion. But emotions are stored within the body, so if you've experienced any form of pain, well, oftentimes what happens in our society, we're taught to suppress it, right? What does suppressing mean? It means to push it deep within yourself, to suppress it within your body and hold onto it, clamp onto it. What does that do? It tightens you up. It makes you more dense. It creates shadow aspects that continue to reside within you, okay? So the healing journey is essentially all about illuminating and shining a light on the darkness. It's the same as this. So if you were to walk into a dark room, there's a lot you cannot see, okay? The whole point of healing is to flip the switch and to illuminate the entire room instantly. Obviously, it takes a little bit more work than just flipping a switch, and there are certain healing modalities, which I'll run you through in a moment, that you can start to investigate in your own time if you feel called to. But it's so critically important to prioritize your own inner emotional healing, because there's nothing more empowering than being able to cut those anchors away and detach them from yourself as you progress on this path of dissolving trauma and transmuting the pain and those energies into light. It's about taking the darkness and shining a light on it so you can start to peel back the layers and all of the false programs, all of the false beliefs, all of the false ideas around who and what you are. And as you peel those layers back, as you dissolve the pain, the trauma, you just continuously become more of your true self, which is like that of a multidimensional, infinite light being that is having this temporary human experience. But as humans, we're caught in a lot of density down here. So we've got to unravel that, process through the emotions, and return to our true essence. So the different types of trauma that you may need to investigate healing within yourself. The first one is going to be ancestral trauma. So we carry the blueprints of our ancestral memories and experiences in our genes, okay, into this present day. So all of the trauma and pain that your ancestors experienced but didn't heal themselves, that follows through down the genetic line in the form of karma. So it's your opportunity to actually heal your ancestral line, the trauma and pain that they've experienced, and heal it now in this present life, so you can dissolve the karma that was created generations ago and bring an end to it now, which will lighten your load because you carry it on with you. You carry a lot of the patterns, the codes, the programs that your ancestral line experienced, and that is carried through your soul and consciousness, the collective consciousness and the genes that are passed down into you. So obviously, those traumas and pains are not your fault, but if you want to start addressing them and lightening your burden a little bit more, I would suggest looking into gaining clarity around what you may need to heal from your ancestral line. And if you want to understand what that looks like, start looking to your parents and your grandparents. What are the patterns that showed up a lot in their life? You can also go into meditative states and ask your higher self to release those patterns. You don't have to know exactly like every trauma point, every experience that occurred throughout your ancestral line. It's too much. You can do a generalized sense, a generalized energetic cleaning and healing in that process. The other form of healing that or pain that can be created is from your own past lives. So every experience that you've had in past incarnations, whether it be here or somewhere else, but the reality is that you're an eternal soul, and every experience that you have creates stored memories. And if you've experienced pain or if you've done bad things in your past, there's no right or wrong really. A lot of us have lived many. This is very hard to put, but it's like in your past lives, you probably weren't like an angel child, okay? A lot of us go into the darkness to learn what the darkness is like so we can return to our lightness. And so we can bring the darkness up with us and shine a light in the darkness. And sometimes you may have committed some pretty past, like terrible crimes in the past that can create trauma or karma. And you may have had a lot of things done to you. So a lot of the time, you are both the perpetrator and the victim in past lives. So it's about resolving all of those trauma points and those pains through forgiveness, through surrendering, through forgiveness of ourselves and others, and shining and embracing or infusing love into all of those energies, okay? And then the other one is going to be anything that you've experienced that could be slightly traumatic in this current life, okay? So the way to go about healing, I'm just gonna list out a few that you can investigate and embark on within your own journey, and I'll let you take it from there in regards to what you feel called to go deeper into, if at all, at this present point in time. So these healing methods are some that I've used. The first ones that I will mention are going to be breath work. The second one would be meditation. The third one would be energetic healings. The fourth one would be investigating the tapping method. And I'm not going to explain how to do these right now. I'm saying them so you can, if it like activates something within you, it holds any resonance, you can go and investigate it on your own time, okay? Talk therapy is a classic one that a lot of humans like to use. I have not personally done that one, besides just talking to myself and my higher self. And then the final one that I will mention for now that a lot of people have received great benefit from, I have not personally investigated it myself at all or experienced it, but that would be the realm of plant medicines, okay? Now, moving on to number 5. Here's a big one that is probably going to not consciously register for many watching this video, and that is that you don't currently fucking believe it to be possible for you. You may not feel worthy of it. You may not feel deserving. May not feel valuable enough within yourself to actually truly believe that you can attract the ultimate life and goal that you desire for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you get what you believe. And one of my favorite quotes from all time is, in order to achieve, you have to believe. I was at a football camp when I was 12 years old, and one of my primary coaching mentors at that time had this amazing Japanese tattoo written on his forearm. And I asked him, what the fuck does that say? I don't think I said fuck at that age, but I said, what does that say? And he said, in order to achieve, you have to believe. And it was just infused into me from that time ever since. And it is so true, because your beliefs create codes and programs that are installed into your DNA system and into your subconscious mind. And whatever you believe to be true, due to the principle of how our universe is structured as a holographic reality, you get what you vibrate, you get what you put out, and your energetic and belief codes that are residing within you, that emanates a certain energetic pattern, okay? So if that emanates a certain pattern around you, well, your universe and reality from the holographic principle is going to mirror that same belief back to you to further validate it and verify it. So this is so critically important that we understand this at the very deepest level of our being. Now, a big component of understanding our belief system is that we've got two different minds, okay? One is called the conscious mind and one is called the subconscious mind. Now, from the ages of 0 to around 7 is the rough age. 7 and give or take a little bit by a couple of years here and there. During that early phase of childhood, your conscious mind was not yet developed. And the way that you learned and the way that you started to understand reality and how everything works and the way that your beliefs were adopted during that phase was purely through all of your experiences teaching you and developing deep internal beliefs via the subconscious mind. And the crazy part of this is that as you then started to develop your conscious mind in your teenage years and early adulthood, well, the wild part is that, hey, your subconscious mind is responsible for 95 to 99% of everything in your reality, your lived experience, the way you perceive it, the way you understand it, and the results that you generate for yourself. It's fascinating. It's crazy. It's the driver. It's the driving force behind everything. It's the driving force behind most of the actions that you take, most of the beliefs that you choose to then adopt or reject moving forward in life. And it really develops the energetic currents of how you view yourself, who you view yourself to be, what you can and can't do, the limitations that you hold on to that then express themselves in outer form around us. So the pathway to start looking at reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, you can only do so much work at the conscious level. But what you really need to do is access the subconscious mind when it can be accessed. Because when you're walking around in everyday life, you can't really access the subconscious mind. You can't access it to reprogram it. You can only reprogram it in a couple of different ways. It's either going to be through deep meditative states. The second one is going to be through hypnotherapy, where you're able to change and alter your brain waves and your brain state. Or number 3, during sleep time. So the easiest way to access the subconscious mind is going to either be when your brain is vibrating in the alpha state, brainwave state, or the theta brainwave state. Now, the cool part is that when you are just drifting off to sleep, your mind is able to access the alpha and theta brainwave states very easily, okay? So it's really that phase when you're drifting off to sleep, you're gonna access it as well during certain phases of your sleep, and then you're gonna have it more accessible to you as you're waking up from your sleep. So the easiest way that I've found to look into the strategies for reprogramming the subconscious mind, where you're actively eliminating the limitations from your life or the limiting codes from your belief system and replacing them with new empowering ones, is you can create talk tapes where you'll get a microphone, you'll talk into it, you'll record your own voice, instilling new codes and new belief systems into a microphone and recording it. So then when you're drifting off to sleep, you can chuck a headset on or headphones on and start listening back to that. And when you do, what's going to happen through repetition, it's going to start instilling these new codes and new belief systems into your subconscious mind, which is so critical. And as you do that, your reality in time will start to change. But here's the caveat that most people fall into the trap of. Even if you go through the process of applying this strategy to reprogram your subconscious mind, most people don't do it enough to actually see the profound changes that can happen within your reality. So what you must do is you must consistently execute this with high levels of repetition, time and time again. So you've got to listen to it every night. You've got to make sure that you are able to counteract the deep levels of conditioning that happen to you in early childhood. Because here's the deal. When you're a kid from the ages of 0 to like 7, think about how many thousands of times that you probably heard certain belief systems get installed into your codes, your mind, body, spirit complex at that age. So then now becoming aware of it at the present moment, right here, right now, you've got to realize that, oh man, like it's not enough to just listen to the tape once or to say a few affirmations. You've got to install this new code relentlessly with high levels of repetitions, time and time again, to actually see the result and the effect take place over prolonged periods of time. So I'm talking thousands and thousands of repetitions, okay? The way I do it, I create my tapes. I'll say a sentence, like a belief code that I want to install into my system. One belief code, I'll then cut it and then put it on a track and splice it up. So the track is like 5 hours long. So if I listen to that whole 5-hour track over the entire night, right, for 5 hours, right? Well, what I'm able to do is listen to that code, that belief system on that same audio track over like 1,000 times per night. So that's accumulating reps really, really quickly, right? That's the easiest way to do it. You can also obviously visualize and say any affirmations that you want to say when you're waking up and also when you're drifting off to sleep. If you want to say them at the best time, that where your subconscious mind is most accessible, okay? So that's what I'm going to say for number 5, okay? That's all about belief. Now, the next one is number 6. Okay, so number 6 is that you are not yet one with your goal. What do I mean by this one? Well, most of the time, most humans are either living in the past or they're living in a future state, okay? They're living in their past experiences, memories, and traumas, or they're envisioning a future for themselves that they're caught up in, whether it be a positive future or a negative projection of a potential timeline into the future. But the core problem with both of these ways of living is that what you're doing is you're disconnecting yourself from the now, because above the 4th dimension of reality, there is no time or space, okay? There is only the eternal now. And you are here right now. But when you mentally and energetically even start to project and live in in the past, which can be a lower timeline, or the future, which could be, depending on your visualization, could be a higher or a lower timeline, what you're doing is you're fragmenting your energy out and diluting your ability to bring all of your focus, attention, and consciousness and energy into the now moment to create the desired reality in which you wish to be living now. So that's one piece of the puzzle, is fragmented parts of you and fragmented pieces of your energy are sporadic everywhere on all these different potential timelines in the past and the future, and you're unable to actually create with any power now because of the fragments that you've lost outside of yourself. So one piece of this is being able to live more consciously in the now present moment, to be here now, and to bring all of those lost fragments back within inside of yourself and call them back into the present moment. One easy way you can do this is if you're, as soon as you become aware of everything I just said right then in your walking life, because you'll walk away from this video and you'll get back into your everyday patterns and rhythms, right? Where you're thinking a million different thoughts a day, you're feeling different energies. As soon as you become consciously aware of how I want to live more in the present moment, just stop what you're doing, or even continue while you're doing what you're doing, and just bring all of your attention into that space. remain the observer within yourself and just breathe, because your breath is the gateway to the eternal now. When you breathe, you're breathing in your life force. You're breathing in the essence of spirit. And this is where you eradicate time and space and you just merge with all that is right now. So become conscious of your breath. Remain the observer for a few breaths to understand, hey, what am I feeling right now? Now. What am I thinking right now? Now. And then you'll be able to bring more of your conscious awareness and attention into the now moment to then start to think what you want to think in the now moment and feel what you want to feel in the now moment and pay attention on whatever it is you're doing from moment to moment. Like, be there, okay? The next piece is this, that when most people set goals, they will set goals in this format. And you've probably done this yourself in the past. I know I have as well, until I became aware of it. And that was that I would set goals and say, I will accomplish this by this date, or I will become this at this point in the future. I will do this, like it was all projecting out into the future at some random timeline, okay? But what that does, it creates separation between you here right now and your goal. So it's okay to understand that, hey, you've got your current self and your future self, but when you're wanting to draw it into you, what you need to do is think and feel as if it's already happened. So when you write your affirmations or your goals, you've got to use the statements, I am. Instead of I will become or do, like any of that stuff, it's like, I am this person. I am abundantly, financially successful. Like whatever the goal is that you want to set for yourself, be specific with it, but bring it into the I am, because the I am connects with the eternal now, okay? It's the embodiment that you need to start practicing. So start to think as if it's already happened. And then the critical second component of that is start to feel as if it's already happened as well. Feel within inside of yourself, going back to the, say your goal is $1 million. It's just a common one that most people use. Say that your goal is that. Or start to feel as if you are abundant. I'm not talking that, hey, you need to go start spending like a millionaire when you're not. That would be rather stupid. But start to feel from within what that abundance feels like, because then your energetic blueprints will then you'll start to send those energetic codes out into the universe. And if you're matching that with also the subconscious reprogramming work, everything that'll start to mirror itself back to you in the now moment at some higher timeline, okay? So that's the core strategies for being able to become one with your goal. Now, the next one, moving on to number 7, is you're too attached to the outcome. You're too attached. So attachment is a very funny thing, because as humans, we become attached to almost everything, right? It's like we have this obsessive type energy. As we become attached to the things that we own, we become attached to the people that we build relationships with. And attachment, what that can do is actually create a negative, repulsive effect on what you want to attract. Because the way to attract things is through, yes, you can set intent, but then energetically, you've got to have neutrality around it. So it's okay to have desire for things. It's okay to want to attract things into your life. There's nothing wrong with that. But we've got to do it in a way where we're not attached to the outcome, okay? Because that allows us to continue to take the highest path of development. Because if we, for example, if we are too attached to wanting to earn $1 million. Well, what if we're just obsessed about the attachment of feeling like, oh, I will only be worthy enough, validated, accepted enough when I attract the $1 million into my bank account. If that's all you're obsessed about, well, your higher self is going to go, okay, we've got some deeper work to do. So I'm not going to let you, I'm not going to bring that into alignment for you, and you're not going to attract that, because I have other plans for you where you need to learn what it's like to actually be one and feel abundant within yourself right here, right now, without the validation of the $1 million, without the validation from other people that the $1 million would also bring you. If you can heal and become whole now, as you are in this moment, if you can bring deep levels of gratitude, acceptance, joy, surrender, letting go into your current reality, then I will reward you with the rewards as long as it's in the greatest good of all involved and within your highest timeline, and you do the work and everything else we've talked about throughout this video, then yeah, you may be able to bring yourself into unison with that goal. But if you're too attached, you repel it, and it creates this non-polarizing energy in which you can attract it, okay? So you focus on what you want through your intention, but then it's also important to let go and be non-attached to how you actually accomplish it, or if it comes into your life at a certain timeline, because then it creates these messed up energetic patterns that can create karmic debt, and then all of a sudden your higher self is taking you on this journey to actually resolve and heal what you need to in order for you to evolve and grow as a soul, because that is the prime directive. That is the highest order of you living here as a human being, is to evolve and grow as a soul. And if that means not manifesting the $1 million in your bank because you have other lessons to learn first before that, then that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry. It's the hard truth that you probably need to hear. And that's not to put you off to say that, oh, I shouldn't even worry about creating or manifesting the $1 million. No, but it's like, hey, prioritize your own learning, growth, and spiritual growth and development first, and that will come in the perfect timing in the future, while you can still hold your intent for that to happen, okay? So that's what I wanted to mention about attachment. If you want to read a fantastic book on letting go and surrendering and practicing non-attachment into your life, then you can read the book Letting Go by David Hawkins. Fantastic read. Would recommend picking that up. So that's another action you can take to allow that to take place. And side note, a lot of my letting go practices or non-attachment practices, I will do that in meditation, energetically. It's a feeling that you have to adopt within yourself, okay? So that's another crumb that you can start to pick up on and navigate for yourself. Now, number 8. This is a really cool one. So number 8, the 8th reason why you're not attracting what you currently desire is that you're not following your excitement, your joy, and your love. So excitement is this really interesting organizing principle that also acts as a primary driver for you in your life. Now, there's a little bit of caveat here, so pay attention to this. On one piece of the puzzle, the argument would, in most people's minds, would look like this, that, okay, well, if I'm just meant to follow my excitement, because that's the path of least resistance, that's the path where the most synchronicities will line up, that's where I'll be in my highest energetic vibration, should I just only follow my excitement? And I am in two different opinions around this. So on one side, yes. However, I believe that we should also schedule in things to do within our reality that allow us to dive into our pain headfirst, to run headfirst into the darkness, into resistance, so we can grow as souls and individuals through that process. So here's what I mean. In terms of scheduling going into your pain, it would be like going for the run that you don't want to go on. It would be like going and working out. It would be like going and sitting in meditation, even though you're going to probably face resistance for the first 15 or so minutes, right? Those things, by going into the pain, into the darkness, into the resistance, we come through and out on the other side with greater levels of growth and expansion and conviction and power within ourselves, because we move through the resistance to get to a greater, more enlightened state on the other side. The other side of this is that, okay, so if we should do that, then we also need to balance it out with naturally following our path that excites us the most. Because when we do the things that excite us, and we allow ourselves to go and experience those things with joy and love and flow, well, what's going to happen is the world will start to organize itself around us where the highest synchronicities will happen. Because a lot of people deny themselves of following their excitement. They think that, oh, that's not the right, most productive path right now. And you've got to make sure that the path of excitement is also in your greatest interest. Like, I wouldn't highly suggest, oh, porn's exciting me right now, so I'll go follow that. No, I'm not talking about that form of excitement. I'm talking about the deep levels of excitement that can come to you that are in alignment for your highest good. So if you want to go and do that art project, or you want to go and create that video, you want to go and head to the shops to walk around and be in a certain environment, it's like, okay, go follow those internal nudges As long as you're in tune with your intuition, they will be guiding you and leading you to the path that is going to open up for you. And as long as you go and follow your excitement without attachment to the outcome or any expectation, things will start to unfold for you in your life, where you will start to run into the people that you're meant to run into, that are like a divine connection that will help you and lead you to the next piece of the puzzle, right? Because it's about just following every internal nudge one step at a time. And if you're following your excitement, that's when you're going to be in your highest level of energy individually, and emitting a high vibration. And your higher self and spirit team, they will then be like organizing things around you. And it goes so far above that as well. But things will start to happen and unfold synchronistically without you having any foresight of it. And that's where the non-attachment piece comes in. Like, go and pursue the things that give you joy and bring you joy and give you excitement in that moment. So for example, if I'm feeling excited that I need to go eat right now, go and do that. If you're feeling excited that you need to like sleep and rest and recover, go do that. If you're feeling like, all right, I'm excited to go exercise myself and go for that run or that workout, go do that in that moment. Allow yourself to start to tap into more of that flow, while also balancing it out a little bit with scheduling in doing the hard things that allow you to grow and overcome resistance. Because I believe that we do grow a lot through resistance. And at the end of the day, you came into this earthly realm to grow through resistance. Like, this realm is very dark, it's dense, it's quite low in energetic vibration. And by coming here, you are dramatically evolving as a soul. The same thing happens when we go and do hard things, right? So actively seek those out, but make sure you're not just always like in this fucking grind of everything's hard. You've got to balance it out with the joy and ecstasy that comes with following your natural excitement that is guiding you towards your highest timeline and highest outcome, okay? So the bonus one, number 9, that I'm going to say to wrap this video up is that if you're finding that you're not currently creating or manifesting what you desire in your life, that maybe you don't want it bad enough. Because the people who achieve what they desire in their life, they're obsessed about it. They want it with every fiber and essence of their being. And that desire then allows everything else to unfold. Because when you want something so bad, that is your path of highest excitement. Despite the challenges that you may face in the journey, you're approaching the task or the action at hand with a greater, deeper resolve, a greater commitment that is governed by purpose for what you're wanting to create in your life. So you're not just like crushed by the obstacles that you face. You're able to move through them with conviction in yourself that, hey, you're on the highest path. You're doing this for a deep internal important why that you're deeply connected to. And with that, you can move mountains. And all you have to do is start to look at some of the greatest throughout history and look at how obsessed they were, how much they actually wanted what it was that they were creating, how badly they wanted to create certain things or achieve certain things, or how badly they actually wanted to serve other people. And that was their main primary driving force behind everything that they do. But it's funny how that comes back around to intentional living, of understanding exactly who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is. Because when you understand those things, you get clarity on what it is that you actually want. And then when you have pure clarity, you have deep, unwavering certainty that you're on the right path, that you will move heaven and mountains in order to accomplish said thing, because you know so deeply that you are destined for that, that it is a part of you. It is you. It is your destiny of why you're here. And that is the connecting piece that most people are not connected to. And that's why a lot of people go out and trying to accomplish certain things. But what they're telling the universe is that I don't actually want this, because their energy is fragmented. It's all over the place. They're not obsessively focused with deep levels of desire in their pursuits towards accomplishing the ultimate outcome that they say they want, but at the end of the day, they're probably just pretending. So this is where it's so key for you to unravel the programs that have been influenced onto you from other people that are leading you astray with false desires, to let all of that go and to connect with the true essence of who you are, so you can get really clear on why the fuck are you here? Who are you at the deepest core? And then you can start to get clear on what your true mission is and get after it with everything that you have. So that's it for the core explanation of the 9 reasons why you can't currently manifest and the solutions to help you get there. Now, if all of this is resonating, what I also want to extend an invitation to you in today is to invite you to join our new free school community. We have merged essentially our entire community structure and platform onto School for United Mind. My buddy Panth has done an amazing job with building out the school platform. So everything's there, our free community, the courses. We're going to be running also like live workshops, masterclasses, live calls, Q&As, podcasts, the full shebang on this new community. So if you feel very aligned with this message or anything that I've really spoken about and are aligned with the mission of, helping humanity elevate in their level of consciousness, if you're wanting to align with like-minded entrepreneurs, creators, leaders, in this pursuit of mastering yourself in all domains of life and expanding in consciousness and being of greater service where you can activate your gifts and bring them into the world and start to serve others at a higher capacity, well, yeah, it obviously sounds like you're probably going to be aligned with this community. So feel free to click the link below. I'll drop it in the description. Go through the process. All you have to do is click join group and then answer 3 questions. If you do not answer those questions, we will not let you in. So answer those questions if you want to be a part of this, and would really love to see you in there and connect with you at a deeper level where we can start to go deeper into any discussion that you would prefer to have, and we will also be getting like in-person events going in 2024 as well. So if you want to be a part of it, let's rock and roll, let's shake and bake, and I'll see you there. All right, cheers guys, see you in the next one.